on this webinar. I hope I'm audible to everyone.
Very well.
Yeah. So myself, I'm Engineer Imtiaz Sheikh. I'm a master's graduate in heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. I'm a PhD scholar in air conditioning. It's ongoing. Mostly in a year, I'm going to complete my doctoral degree. I'm a registered engineer here in Uganda with ERB. I'm a registered engineer in India. I'm a member of ASHRAE. Currently, I'm working as the head of the department for mechanical division at SMS Consulting. Take you through demand of added income if you need a building design for the building services. A demand how it is there in these days. I'm going to brief about that and importance of MEP services. What does it MEP services called in building? And even in India, why it is required in building. And I'm going to take you through introduction about the design tools and products, what is using and what is the present outlook in Uganda. So I can give you brief about that. We can conclude as a small presentation for this webinar. So myself, I mentioned that I'm a professional MEP engineer with 9 years experience. I handle the designing, drafting, modeling, estimation, tendering, costing, project planning, project management, business development for some companies, sales. Even I worked as a consultant, construction manager. I was a MEP manager in a various companies. Actually, coordinate with at the moment as I am a contract.
Guiding them on time. Eh? You're guiding them on time.
We'll work with architects, engineers, clients,
It's muted.
even equipment suppliers, manufacturers, government organizations, and we even deal with ministries to ministries and various boards to actually for myself, I'm a very certified design engineer for MEP projects, which according to and National Fire Protection Authority standards. So implementation is what is there. Yeah, this is a brief introduction about me. Actually, as I mentioned about my certifications, some of them I have added here. So mentioned that I'm currently pursuing my PhD. It's in the final year. I'm certified master in ventilation and air conditioning. It's my specialization in mechanical engineering, and as well as I have completed my bachelor's before my master's, and some of the certifications have been added here. Then I'm handling few projects for these MEP services with SMS Construction. One of them is Uganda's biggest hospitality project, which you can see here. It's Marriott Hotel and Executive Apartments, which is ongoing. Probably in next 2 years, we are going to open this hotel. It's in Zambia. I hope many people might have seen this very tall building, and a few other projects in Mulago we are working on, and even a government building opposite Garden City also we are ongoing at the moment. So few other projects which is previously involved in design stages and implementation stages. Some of them are completed, some of them are still ongoing with my previous employers. Few of them I have listed here, which is World Bank offices. This is the first listed project in Uganda. The next one is Naro Laboratories. It is in Namuloge, which is the first vacuum production facility in Uganda, which has a very key and air conditioning system here with maintaining the pressure. So it is a very high skilled laboratory. Then have handled NDA, which is completed now. Have handled few projects for the border post, which is Pondway, Bunagana, um, even with some factories, Crown Beverages Limited, Coca-Cola, Rwenzori have executed few works. one of the hospital projects in Zambia Hospital New Wing, which is Mother Kevin Hospital. I'm the one who dedicated PDS in India. It's still ongoing. I was involved in the starting stages, but this is with my previous employer, so it's still ongoing. UNBS headquarters in Burgeride, Laborix, warehouses, Mada Hotel, this is also three-star hotel. Hilton Garden Inn, it's a three-star hotel near to Acacia. Have handled with some projects with CAA. There's a new passenger terminal which you see when you go to the airport. I was involved in that. Uganda Wildlife Authority, Communication Commission, some chiller replacement works we have handled. UVRI in Entebbe, and again BSL laboratory. This is BSL level 3 laboratory. BSL means it is biosafety level. It's one of the specialized laboratory to test the viruses of veterinary of these animals. So those laboratories I have handled, which is most of this project. I'm the designer and as well as the execution from the contractor side. So if we come to the topic one, which is demand of adequate design in building services. Why do we need a design for the building services? You can see some of the reasons here. If you can see my screen, actually, in 19th century, the buildings were a maximum of 2 to 3 floors. We used to have a lot of land, and the technology which was there in 19th century could only make for the most of the buildings. And in the buildings, we used to have, the appliances, you can say services. We used to have a fan which maybe you can say washrooms is all outside. Washroom in the home water, dry which is flowing. And that is the reason they think it is only a civil engineer can do it. But when it come to the 20th century, then the services have been evaluated. Like say the high-rise buildings have been developing in many countries, and mass housing projects, villas, the commercial complex. A lot of new technology buildings are evaluating in 20th century. It has influenced the design of services, which is
Mm.
yeah. Can you hear
Excuse
me?
me. Yes, yes, sir. Only that you've been cut off somehow. It's fragmenting a little bit. Actually, it's really up and down. It's fluctuating. I don't know what is causing the test in the network. It's basically the network, I think.
Okay.
But now I can hear you.
Okay.
Thank you. You could proceed, I think, sir.
Yeah. So maybe I have switched off my video so audio can come clean. So yeah, so that is it. In 20th century we have these services evaluated, but now currently you might have seen even the lot of buildings which is coming in almost every country, which is skyscrapers. Most of the developed nations have built over 100 floors from the past 20 years. And if we can see a world's tallest building at the moment, which is Burj Khalifa, 163 floors, about 830 meter high, um, the engineers have built on a desert land. And in summer in Dubai, temperature can reach up to 55 degrees, and people who is living inside are very comfortable. They don't suffer for any water, electricity, any kind of building services. And the building has completed in 6 years. Without the proper designing, without the proper planning, this building construction in 6 years, 163 floors is impossible. It could be
Ana hada barang
enlightened.
Angrikin.
So it is very
Kalama.
important to have a
Thank you.
proper design, not only for the civil construction, but also for the mechanical, electrical instrumentation engineers.
Yes.
Something could be wrong, sir.
Ano, araja yo ya mo jare ma ngiki.
Hello,
Hello, engineer
am I
Wike.
audible?
I could no longer hear you, but now I'm hearing you again.
Okay. Okay. Sorry for the
You're able.
glitch. I hope now it is clear.
Sure, it is.
Okay. Okay. So in later, there is a new technology also came as called green building technology, which reduces the energy consumption of the building and reduces the carbon diet of the building, like the carbon diet which creates global warming. And we have studied from the childhood that greenhouse effect, the ozone layer is depleting, blah blah blah, all those stuff. It comes because of we are using excessive materials, excessive energy in the building. So if we can control some design techniques, then we make the sustainable buildings which has utilizing more renewable energy and reduction of carbon diet. Like say if we are using in a building say a 1000 kilowatt of electricity in a month, uh, if we can try to do some new design techniques and reduce that energy consumption from 1000 to say 800, so we are saving about 200 kilowatt every month. That means we are saving a lot of carbon diet there. How it, like say the power generation, it comes from thermal plants, it comes from wood cutting, it can come from mining, it can come from the uranium reactors, or it can come from the wind energy, it can come from any other source, where you are going to utilize a lot of carbon footprint. So that one we can reduce. So that is a new technology also which is developing recently. So first, that is a very important factor to know how we are going to the what is the requirement of the building, a proper building design for the services. And in addition to that, civil, mechanical, electrical engineers, architects syllabus when we study in engineering, it is very old and it is not as per the advanced technology. The books which we study, which shows about the engine, the compressor, which shows about the generator, transformer, which teaches us the principles, but that the syllabus is very old, which has been invented in 18th century, 19th century. But nowadays the technology has changed a lot, and no university teaches us that. So that is very important for us to learn how we are going to design the building and yeah, I can hear you.
Perfect. Again, I hear you now.
I
I
don't know
don't know
what is
whether it is.
happening.
I don't know whether it is to do with the slideshow, because I think when you minimized again, the volume came. But okay, anyway, we could proceed and we see how it goes. But I'm hearing you as I talk.
Okay. So, as I mentioning this, most of the engineers, mechanical, electrical, instrumentation engineers, they think the construction is only for civil people. It is not. Actually, the a construction of building involves all engineering departments. Without any one of them, it is impossible to complete the building. Like say a mechanical engineer who involves in design and building of HVAC system, which creates a comfortness to the building, which creates the building should breathe with the mechanical system. So it is very important. Even a mechanical engineer will design and implement plumbing services, firefighting services. They are very important for maintaining building standards. Without firefighting services, now no new building which is over 3 floors will not get permission without firefighting services, because it saves life. And electrical systems, like say it is a power, without powering up any equipment, building is like dead body, there is no energy in the building. So it is very important for electrical engineer to be on board when the construction is ongoing. Instrumentation engineer, as a computer science engineer, which they handle the building management system, which is full automation, with automated stuff, everything will go in automatic to collaborate while the building construction. So the question is not only for civil engineers, it is for the mechanical, electrical, plumbing, instrumentation, electronics engineers, and computer science engineers as well. So as it is a very big industry. So the next agenda, if you can see, importance of MEP services in buildings and sustainable design, which is being doing. So first of all, as I just gave a brief before, but if you can really want to know what is MEP building services, that is as listed here. If you can have a look, the main one of them are HVAC. It's a mechanical service, which stands for heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Like say the heating, mostly we don't use in Uganda, but most of the countries where you have winters are very harsh and summers are superb. So the room one middle of the building where natural ventilation is not possible. So we need to have a mechanical ventilation system there to remove the odor or smell from the areas into the washrooms. And we have kitchen ventilation in the buildings. We have restaurants, kitchens. So we need to extract the plume what is creating by cooking food. We need to remove that. Otherwise, it will circulate in the building and it create discomfort. The air conditioning. It is the air conditioning means maintaining a standard temperature, whether it is cooling or heating. Both are called as air conditioning. So it is very important for the building to maintain comfort. The HVAC system is designed and implemented in the building for human comfort. So that is very important. You have say a movie theater, you have 500 people sitting around and watching, or in a auditorium where you have a lot of people in a closed room. Without HVAC services, people even can die because instead of oxygen they exhale the carbon dioxide, and the indoor air quality levels will drastically increase. The reduces. That means carbon dioxide amount in the building will increase, and it can cause some people to even to the death. When there is a fire accident in the building, the smoke generated by the building, according to an caused by only of the fire. So we need to evacuate that smoke. How we evacuate? We should place the building when the fire accident occur. So we need to cause so it's very important for a mechanical engineer to become an HVAC engineer because we do use HVAC. The next one is HVAC electrical services, thing in the building, and even low voltage services, which is fire alarm, CCTV, access control. These all are fall under electrical design. The electrical system also very important for the building to power up. So we cannot say that we just take MMA and we connect to the building. There should be a lot of engineering need to be done. For every unit, we need to power up. So we need to go in detail calculations to avoid the resistance of the cables, the poles, everything. We need to do it. We need to calculate how much amount of lighting is coming in the building. We cannot say at 1,000 people sitting auditorium, you're just putting few tube lights to get a proper lighting. It cannot. So you need to do a calculations of lux, how much amount of illumination you need to provide in the room, depending upon the number of people, the area, the things of the appliances we are using, type of the room. So it is very important for electrical designing also in the building. And the next one, P stands for plumbing, which comes for the water supply, drainage, it comes for sanitary fittings, all those stuff. So the plumbing engineers also need to be very careful. Actually, the plumbing also falls under mechanical, but we can say in MEP services, which is stands separately. But a plumbing engineer should be a mechanical engineer who designs water requirement for the building. So all kind of buildings are not having similar systems. Like say we have 5-story apartment building and 5-story commercial building. Both requirement of water outlet is not same. Where you have the office building versus the mall, it's different. So the office building, say you have a 5-floor building, but maybe you have a few staff working. Maybe in the 5 floors, you can say you have maximum say 50 people who is working. So the usage of water is very little. And the office building, they just use for washroom. They don't shower. They don't wash clothes. Blah blah blah. So the requirement of water is very less versus the apartment building where you have families living. In a 5-floor building, even 300 people will live. So how much amount of water is required for those buildings, and how much amount of the drainage creates from there. So we need to design all these services properly. We cannot say that you need 100 diameter pipe for all the buildings. No, you need to do a proper calculation. You need to do proper water calculations. You need to have a proper underground tank. You need to have overhead tanks. What kind of pumping system you need to do, all need to be calculated in plumbing design. And as well as sanitary services, sanitary fittings, what need to be designed. So it all comes under and firefighting, which also stands in one of the mechanical services. Usually, plumbing and firefighting comes together. So here, in plumbing and firefighting, usually we rescue the building. When in case of fire accident, all these mechanical services are interlinked. So if there is a fire accident, uh, we should be known before, to informing everyone. So we use fire alarm system from electrical services, and after fire has evaluated, we need to kill the fire. We need to control it by using firefighting systems with the fire extinguisher or the sprinkler system, dry sprinkler system, wet sprinkler system, a lot of hose reel system. They're all depending. After killing the fire, we need to evacuate the smoke which generates. So it come back to HVAC. So we need to remove that smoke to avoid it being the people to breathe. So these all services are included, interlinked. So this is very important to have proper designing and planning for these services. Without that, we cannot say that just we use two extinguishers and we use one tank and one light. No, it has a proper engineering we need to do. As I was giving an example of Burj Khalifa, they have implemented the building. They have constructed in 6 years. Means how much time they might have planned before they go on ground. So a detailed calculation, they cannot miscalculate even one factor. It's a very big mistake. Otherwise, in between when they start construction, they will stuck to find the solution. So a proper designing is very important before we go on ground to start. So we are here. He also showing some small brief about the services, HVAC, electrical, plumbing, and firefighting. What are the key factors or key designing principles which we need to know? In HVAC, you can say the unit conversions, that is okay, and air properties. As I mentioned, HVAC is a to create human comfort. So to create human comfort in the building, we need to control the air. So we should know air properties. What are the air properties? What of the properties we need to control and regulate to achieve the comfort, which leads to a psychometry. I know, I think most of the mechanical engineers on this call knows a word called psychometry. Maybe you might have forgotten. It is also deals in the air property management, how it is going to manage. We are going to learn in that. And we have heat load calculations. We can mention heat or cool load calculation. Both sound similar. So here, we cannot say that in one of the building you just put 1 ton AC, 2 ton AC, but you cannot just say by like that, by seeing the building. You need to properly calculate. How can you define? You're saying 1 ton AC or 2 ton AC is required or 50 ton AC is required. So you need to do a calculation. So we go point by point calculations in this. After that duct design, we have HVAC ducts, various size. You might have moved in many malls. You might have seen a big ducts. We cannot just say determine a particular size. We need to design the duct. We cannot say use a small fan and we use big duct. So you never get the air into the other end. So you need to plan properly what size of the duct is required. Even the fan, depending upon the duct, we need to calculate the fan capacity. And we have VRF system here in HVAC, which widely used in Uganda. I can say 95% of the buildings which has central air conditioning system goes for VRF system. So it is very highly demanding in Uganda. So we should know about what is VRF system, how does it work, how do we design for it, what kind of brands are available in market, and how it is going to be cost effective, energy effective. We should learn from there. And the next one is called chiller system, which is one kind of central air conditioning is for the big buildings. Like say the project which I'm working on Marriott, we have the chill water system. You can say the air conditioning capacity here is 6,600 kilowatt. This is a huge one of the. It's the biggest air conditioning project in this country right now. So for that, we should have the biggest chiller system capacities here. So we should know about the system. How does it perform? Then we have ventilation, which is creates the air movement. As I mentioned in my previous slide, we have the toilet areas, we have car parks where we have kitchens, we have all these areas which is trapped. So we should remove the bad air or plume or the smoke from those areas, and we should fill it with the fresh air to have a human comfort. So that is comes under ventilation. And in our boot camp, we are going to have a live project explanation. There we are going to design together. After learning few principles, we are going to design together for a complete HVAC project that comes under this. And the electrical services, I hope you can see here, as I already explained. Even the plumbing, water supply, drainage, underground tank, overhead tank, pump selection, manholes, sewage treatment plant. We have soak away pit, sanitary selections will be done. And firefighting, we can see the extinguisher design, sprinklers, dry wet sprinklers, FM200. We have CO2 systems, foam system. What is these things? We should know about these in the buildings. So in interest of time, let me try to conclude a bit quickly. Here we have see some of the design tools and their presence in Uganda. If I can mention, in Uganda, most of the designers follows traditional methods of calculating the loads by manually, following large books and refer every time to calculate any kind of load or capacities of MEP services. Let's say if you want to do a particular duct design, we just follow books from ASHRAE, the old books, then we go inside, we see what kind of duct is required. Every time we refer for everything. So implementing software is very rare here. But the world has evaluated with so many softwares. We are still in I can say the basic softwares also we are not implementing in Uganda. But when we implement those tools here in design, it saves a lot of time, and it gives you accuracy. Like say the drafting tools like AutoCAD. Traditionally, some of the engineers even do the sketch by hand drawing, by doing with the scale or something, you know, to design the services especially. Maybe the architects are following these days some of the tools and software. They come up with the architectural plan, but when it goes to the services, these engineers they just hand drawn, say that we put AC here, we put AC here, we put a point here, we elect for electrical, we put sanitary here, we draw the pipe here. Like even many of them are doing the handwritten drawings, so which is I still can say it is very basic, and it is not accurate. So you can see some of the softwares listed here, like AutoCAD. It is for the drafting and designing as well of these MEP services, which is very important us to learn. It reduces, say, a lot of time, and it improves the accuracy and accountability in the project. So we should know how to use this software. It's a very basic and advanced both. So we need to know about the AutoCAD and how we are going to use in building services. Then we have psychometry, which comes under HVAC to read the properties of air. We have Macquay pipe sizer and duct sizer, which uses us to calculate the duct and pipe sizing. Revit software. He said it's a modeling software which is 3D. It is very advanced. I can say it is in a higher level scale. I will just show you in the boot camp for a few minutes how does it look, but it is a very advanced tool which can design and draft both. We have a software called HAP. This is used to do the heat load calculations. We have Elite for the heat load calculations. And some of the softwares like Naviswork, Design Builder, and IESVE, they are far, far, far ahead. And most of these developed countries like US and UK, now they are implementing these Naviswork and Design Builder. To come to Asia and Africa, it takes some more time, but they are already been implementing in the American countries. So these softwares gives us more accuracy, energy saving, and quick action. We should know about them. So in my summary, I can say like this boot camp, which is planned on June 10th and 11th, Saturday, Sunday, and 17th and 18th, you'll be trained in mechanical system designs, and we promise you that you can start designing these services independently with limited supervision. This boot camp will share the knowledge to grow in your career in building services industry. As a designer, consultant, and contractor roles can be fulfilled with this boot camp. So I wish you good luck and see you soon in boot camp on 10th June. Thank you.
Yes. Oh, pretty interesting to have heard from the very. I don't know. Of course, everybody must be excited. As in, of course, I see everybody is really clapping hands. This is good. Why not me? I mean, this is the most classic and advanced knowledge I would expect even. From the little I would have known about building services, this definitely is really intriguing. I think any expert, any professional at any level should be able not to miss this. I mean, you can't afford. Definitely, as the engineer himself has mentioned it, he will be available on the boot camp day, and then once you join the boot camp, once you register for the boot camp, this information, of course, will be shared with you. Once you join, rest be assured that you will catch with all the information that is even beyond what he has shared. I'm really very glad and excited. I can say you have given us more than expected. This is really very great of you, engineer. I hope you can hear me. I can't afford to really miss the response from you. Engineer, kindly, I wanted to confirm if you can hear me. I'm really very excited about
Yes,
the
I
presentation.
can hear you. Thank you very much.
Welcome. I think without a further ado, I would just only want to confirm if Engineer Mariam is ready for the presentation. Yeah, I think. Hello, Engineer Mariam.
Oh, hi. I am
I want
ready. But I see there is a hand up. Maybe we can first address that. Derek has raised his hand.
I wish Derek can wait as we try to ensure we catch with this most important all this information together, and then we just go in the comment and quiz moment. You will have just to ask. Yes, for sure. Never mind. You will have just to ask. I think, engineer, you can make an attempt of trying to share, and we see how it comes to success. You try to share if it works out. Mm, um, yeah. Otherwise, for anyone really willing to access this content shared by the engineer, you can drop your emails in the comment section. Sure, the organizer will be able to really reach you the content directly on your email. As in, we shall share the PPT. So meanwhile, Engineer Mariam, kindly, are you able to share? the PPT just to be
I'm having
sure.
some issues with sharing, but let me be trying as you talk to the people.
Okay. Then if that's the case, I think anyone who has a question should have just to ask. Meanwhile, Engineer Mariam organizes tries to share the content.
Okay. Sorry to interrupt you. I think by Engineer Miriam sharing the presentation, I would like to address a few questions here asked in the chat box, so we can save some
Perfect.
time. So I'm seeing here a question from Mr. Mugeni Job. The presentation, I'm Mugeni Job, graduated civil engineer, and I was inquiring if civil engineers can draft building services design. Of course, we can draft the building services. You should have the basic knowledge. You should have the basic knowledge about all the services. Then you can definitely use them. But however, when you go for the higher rise buildings, like say over 7 floor and 10 floors, there it is better. You should be a qualified engineer to handle those projects because most of them comes in engineering principles what we learned in our studies. So up to certain level, definitely you can start them. Yeah, I think the presentation is ready from Madam Mariam, so you can proceed. Thank you.
Oh, that's really great. Yeah. Engineer Mariam, for sure, we are able to see it clearly. And just in case you need maybe 1 to 2 minutes to figure out something,
No,
it is
I
well.
think since we are time bad, I can just
Yes,
get into it.
perfect.
Can everyone see the screen or hear me very well?
Assuming I'm the everyone, me, I'm well with you
Okay, in
completely.
case, okay, I can
Also
see
well.
some reactions. Okay, so my name is Engineer Mariam Nachune, and I am an electrical engineer with up to 9 years experience in electrical engineering. I am currently working with Voltage Installations and other companies. I'm kind of a freelance where I do MEP services for buildings. So some of the buildings I've worked on. I don't know. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can. You can maybe do a slideshow.
Oh, okay.
It's well. Only that you can use maybe slideshow. You can use that kind of slide
How is that?
icon at the right hand corner, just next to the volume, the minus sign of the volume. You can use that icon to display a much more conspicuous and vivid view of it. Can you see the icon just next to the volume?
I can, but how is that? I've done something. Is that any different?
For sure. Unless it's on my side, it's now displaying. Okay. Okay.
Is it okay? I'm assuming it's okay, and I'm going to continue. Right?
It is okay. You can continue.
Okay, yeah. So I've worked on the multipurpose hall for UMI, Uganda Management Institute, the one on, I think it's Ginger Road, just opposite the New Vision offices. That new building you're seeing, they are constructing, I designed the MEP for it. So by MEP, we mean the mechanical, electrical, and plumbing. So just like Engineer Sheikh has said, like with these services, it's very hard to differentiate between them. If you're going to design, since these services are very integrated with each other, it is necessary for you to know exactly how to do all. You have to do some mechanical, some electrical, and some plumbing. I did the MEP for the Tilenga services, this new oil facility in Bulisa. The MAST building, MAST is a Makerere University Science and Technology building in Barra. Their new computer and science lab was designed by me. UETCL building, that new building on Fourth Street. I don't know whether if you people have seen it, that one under construction. They are MEP services who are designed by me, among others. So moving on to what I was going to talk about, understanding the demand for mechanical building design in this growing era. Unfortunately, I don't know, fortunately or unfortunately, most buildings are becoming very urbanized. So by that, the urge and the need for mechanical services has totally increased. So for any building to work properly, it has to have proper HVAC, just like Engineer Imtiaz has said before, the heating, the ventilation, the AC, they have to be world class, because you're designing for people to be comfortable, like he said. These systems have to talk to each other. People have to be comfortable indoors. So the plumbing systems, the water supply and sanitation, firefighting in case there is a fire, everything has to be able to make sure that everyone is comfortable indoors. And additionally, as buildings become taller, there is a need for elevator and escalator services. And this isn't just for commercial buildings nowadays. You find that most residentials we are designing for, some require elevators inside. Like those White House residences we designed, every complex had an elevator inside. And it's maybe for, like I said, people's comfort and ease of movement. So therefore, the demand of building service engineers is on the rise. I'm going to take this opportunity to invite anyone who hasn't yet registered for the boot camp to please do, because like I said, the world we are moving in is becoming urbanized. And like Engineer Imtiaz has said, by the end of the boot camp, you're going to be able to design these systems comfortably. So if you haven't,
just this, you don't consider this an interruption. Actually, are still on slide 3. Is it where you are or something?
The slide I'm on is the demand for proper mechanical building design.
No, we are still on the project worked on. You try this icon. Like if you can see
which
the
icon is that?
Next to the volume icon. Do you have a volume icon just on your screen? Somewhere on the right lower side?
I think so.
Then just next to the minus sign, there should be some kind of a fan. It's in a fan-like format. It's in charge of the slideshow. That, if you can see that icon, fine. Even if it is a tab or phone gadget, you could try to just tap on the slides directly. If it's a phone or tablet, you could just be tapping on the slides that you want to directly. But if it's a PC, you could really have that icon, tap on it, and we utilize it. Anyway, otherwise we are still behind. Now I can see 4. I can see 4. Now I can see slide 4, demand for proper mechanical buildings.
Now you're seeing it?
For sure. I hope we just maybe continue with this. I hope it's safe to go that way. It changes. Yeah. Just in case you maybe shift for the first time, you can maybe let me know to confirm if it changed. Thank you. You could proceed for sure, engineer.
Okay, someone has told me to press F5. Yes. Let me try that. It's not working.
Okay.
Okay. Just to confirm, is everyone seeing slide 4?
Yes,
you can. Proper mechanical buildings.
Yeah, you could proceed.
Yeah. So as I was saying, the demand for mechanical buildings is on the rise, and the main reason is because the world we are moving in is urbanizing. The need for people to be comfortable in their homes indoors, not only just their homes, but indoors, is on the rise. And for that reason, you're going to find that the demand for people who can actually design those systems is on the rise. Again, like I said, it is, if you haven't registered for the boot camp, please do. by the time we end the bootcamp and close the bootcamp, everyone is going to be able to design these systems comfortably. So now I'm moving on to slide 5. Can you see it? Multi-criteria decision making in any design.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. So now, in any design, you're going to find that there are certain things that are true. You have to take the client's need into consideration. What exactly is the building going to do? The way you design a school isn't the way you design a hospital, isn't the way you design a warehouse, isn't the way you design a home. So the client needs and the client perspective has to inform exactly what you're going to design and what the things you're going to do. And then the next thing is the cost implications. Someone might want something, but when their pockets can't afford, the pockets can't afford what they want. So in that case, you, the design engineer, you have to come in and you find a way of integrating the client needs with what works for them, without forgetting the third thing, which is the technical restrictions. Whatever you work on has to be safe. For any building you're designing, you're not designing it for someone to see and use. What you're designing for is the user experience, like I said before. So safety, cost implications, and the client perspectives are the 3 main things we follow when you're designing anything. So the first thing you ask, what do you need? By asking a client exactly what they need, you're able to merge and find out. Sometimes you might even be on the wrong path. Like there is something you saw maybe on the internet and you're like, oh, I would like to implement this. And then the client needs something completely different. So if someone tells you, okay, this room is going to be used for this, and you're like, okay, what can we use? So we're talking about mechanical systems, and like the previous presenter said, these things all have to work with each other. The heating and the ventilation has to work with the AC, it has to work with all these systems are interconnected. So the client perspective informs the cost, and it also informs the technical implication. Whatever you design has to be safe. I'm moving quite fast because I see we are past the time we are supposed to end, but I hope I don't leave anything important unsaid. So, yes. Royce, did you have something to say?
No, not really. And I didn't really. No problem. It's okay for sure. You can proceed.
Okay. So, another thing I wanted to talk on is the rising technical restrictions. Like these technical restrictions, how have they affected the project decision making? Like as a design engineer, how do these restrictions affect you as a person? Now, the first thing you need to know is these restrictions are not there to make your life hard. These restrictions are there to make sure that people are safe. As a design engineer, you have a lot of power in your hands. There are the things that you say that no, this goes here, this goes here. It informs what someone is going to implement. So, like people say, with much power comes with greater power comes greater responsibility. The power you hold in your hand to say, let me put a duct here of this size. If you didn't calculate that duct size very well and something happens, it is upon you. It is your fault. And for that reason, you find that they've put some restrictions on building services. You find that before there are some certificates of compatibility that people were not signing, especially for residential buildings, and right now it is a requirement because they need to hold people accountable. Like I said, safety is a no-brainer when it comes to building services. You have to make sure that everything you design is safe. So building services engineers, for that reason, have to stay informed and up to date with the technical requirements. So please keep in touch with the council regulations and all that to make sure that you know exactly what is required of you as an engineer. Because like I said, failure to comply with these regulations not only affects the project, like how fast you're going to finish the project, you might incur penalties, there are legal consequences, and worst of all, people might die. So we don't want to kill anyone. Yeah, so I'm moving on to the next slide. The need for integration and coordination between mechanical and electrical services for building services. Now, the thing is, with building services, you're going to find that these systems talk to each other. Like Engineer Imtiaz said, you find that a pump is going to need electrical supply, and you have to know how to design for that. You're going to find that a fire panel is going to need electrical supply. You're going to find that a VRV system, it might be connected to a thermostat, which is electrical. These mechanical systems might have relays and remotes and controls to switch them on and off. All that is electrical. SCs are technically mechanical, but the way you design them, they are going to need electrical supply. So I don't know whether you get me. So knowing mechanical systems is knowing electrical systems. It is impossible to separate the two. These two will always work in integration with each other. So that's why you see for most of these buildings, you find that you don't get projects as a mechanical engineer or as an electrical engineer. You get projects as MEP, because you have to make sure that the electrical system you've designed doesn't work against, it just works in collaborative terms with the mechanical systems and the plumbing and the fire. You find that, let me give an example of hotels. I don't know that you've seen hotels whereby once you switch on the light to the toilet, the fan switches on. So stuff like that, like I said, to improve user experience. People want to be extremely comfortable in their homes. So these systems have to talk to each other. These are some of the things we are going to touch on in the boot camp, which again, I'm please requesting you to sign up for. So for now, I would be asking questions, but I think the moderator wants the questions to come at the end.
Sure thing.
So
yeah.
My request is maybe type the questions in the chat or just write them down so that we receive them all at the end and we answer them at once.
Definitely. So this is really, amazing, and especially when it comes to multi-criteria decision making. I hope any other engineer out there should be able to catch with this kind of high-level management and design thinking. When you are just in any small position, of course, when you are still at just designing a single element design, you will have to think like an maybe on an electrical engineer. But as you grow, as you know, you're in charge of big projects, you can never avoid to think in a multi-criteria perspective, as the engineer has elaborately said it. You must know what the cost implication lies behind the decision you're making, the technical decision. So it's more of like techno-economic kind of evaluation. Whereas you say this is the most energy efficient system, what does it cost us for us to take this choice of device, this choice of energy, maybe system, maybe a heat and cooling system. And at the same time, of course, as she elaborated, you must know that there is a need to assess the client perspective. as sometimes you will design an entire system and then before you realize the client is not satisfied. Actually, it's not something he or she expected. And this is why we are recommending that you should attend this, case study-based design bootcamp that is upcoming, of course. Once you join this, you'll be able to see everything. So thank you so much. And and in meantime, I expect that we should already be having a screen share from Engineer Okello, right? Engineer Okello Dennis. Perfect. Hello, sir. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, I'm getting you, moderator.
Oh, thank you. What about the sharing? Is it well on your side? Are you able to share something? Are you trying to, okay, you try sharing. Otherwise, I'm really excited. However, I think the time is really taking us really, I don't know. I mean, we are not, I think we are not at the point we expected, but I trust we have enjoyed. However, we are going to try our best to be very quick in the remaining sessions. I trust Engineer Okello will do that for sure.
I'm having some challenges sharing, but let me try this one.
Okay. Could you we try it for you, or you still?
I've shared. Are you seeing the screen?
Surely it's coming. It's finally there, and maybe if you can use the slideshow.
Okay.
Okay, welcome, Sant. You free to really start off.
Thank you so much. Thank you, moderator. Thank you.
However,
engineer.
sorry for the interruption. I think the participants should be able to continue sending their questions in the comment section. This is what we shall consider, especially as you see the time is really bad off. Thank you so much. We continue, Engineer.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you, participants, for showing up. Thank you, everyone who has come. This is one in a lifetime experience. A lot has been said. The seniors have talked, and I don't want to go so much into details of each and everything that has been mentioned. My name is Okello Dennis Nyeko. I'm a mechanical engineer. I'm seeing some students we have studied with there. Mr. Sanga, I'm happy to see you. I graduated in 2018 from Chamberlain University. From there, I went and worked with the top class engineering, where I was a mechanical foreman. That is where I embraced building services. I came and trained with the UNRWA. Then immediately joined NBRB and ZCAD, and also a freelancer CAD designer. So I don't want to take much of the time. A lot has been said by my seniors. I don't want to go back to each of them one by one. Let me go straight to the benefit of mechanical services. All this one, I've talked about it. Okay. So benefit of embracing mechanical drawings. We have improved accuracy and reduced errors during construction. I've seen it many times where I've been going to sites. A very big structure someone has constructed, no plan of plumbing, nothing, and then you see them cutting walls and you compare the material they have been doing and the material wastes that they're performing, and you'll be shocked because they have not embraced the actions of mechanical building design. And then there's also enhanced coordination and integration between different building systems. So when you understand mechanical building services, that coordination, that aspect of comfort, locomotion, and all that becomes very easy for a building system setup. And then when you do your design, you embrace efficient uses of resources, things like water and all that aspect. So you need to embrace the initial states of your design. And then compliance, our engineer Mariam has talked about it. Compliance with the regulations, the local regulation is very key. And I would advise you look for any regulatory body in Uganda and try to go to their website and get those codes. will really, really, really guide your designs. And sometimes you don't be in the wrong side of everything. Those codes are already there in Uganda. You just need to get them and learn more from them. And then optimal functionality, someone has mentioned about it. All those aspects come when you embrace mechanical design at an early stage. Challenges, and there are challenges. We don't have a lot of skilled professionals. Yes, to embrace some
Moving,
training.
sorry, sir. The slides are not moving. I trust you should be maybe already on something different from slide 1.
They're all stuck.
So Justin, I don't know, could you try, you're already on 8?
Yes, the other part, they have covered it, yeah.
Okay, then.
I'm not sure
Okay,
that
then.
they like, okay.
Okay. We now can see 8, and hopefully when you go to the next, we should be able to see it. You could proceed, sir. You can proceed.
So, have you seen overcoming challenges in embracing mechanical building services design?
Vividly. Yes. Fine.
It's in. Yes, so manpower is lacking. People have not taken much interest into mechanical building services. Most of our colleagues, they decided to join some bit of maintenance and factory work, and indeed it is really alarming. Yet building services is a vast field that such kind of profession can tap in. So this is your chance also to learn from what ZCAT has put across. They have put across those teams of professionals to guide you through the basics of those designs. Then access to the up-to-date software and technology ZCAT will provide after the training. And then incorporating international practice while considering local requirements. Yes, we do have samples of those standards. We shall also provide you with them so that you appreciate the importance of those standards and its influence on the safety of the construction in this country. I'm proceeding to the next slide. Strategy for capacity building. Which,
not there yet.
Not yet. It's not moving.
Not moving, sorry.
Yeah, you're still in overcoming the challenge of interesting.
Okay. I think technology is not one of the issues.
Oh, yes.
I need here also.
Okay.
Okay.
Wow.
Strategy for the capacity building.
Okay. So you need to, have you seen it?
Yes.
Okay, you need to collaborate with some technical institution to develop specialized training program. Yes. Engineers talked about our system of education, which is the curriculum itself. I don't want to talk about expired courses, but there are some aspects which need to be integrated into the building services. So this is some kind of observation that you should be a good messenger and put across. And then promote apprenticeship and vocational training for aspiring drafters. Yes, that is true. And when you connect yourself with the engineers you have on board, you never know, you might get some of those chances where you learn your drafting. Then I encourage continuous professional development and knowledge sharing with the industry. Yes, if you have interest, you can be in position to learn some of those things. And then foster partnership with organization for knowledge sharing and expertise. There are some aspects of AutoCAD and all that whereby they allow for knowledge sharing and all that. So let's move to the next slide. I don't know to keep you here the whole day. I really appreciate people who have come for this knowledge sharing. It has been one of the best. Me myself have learned a lot, and I will continue. I wish everyone to continue with this aspect. And then I will conclude with this quote that you can use. Are you seeing the last slides?
Not yet. You're still in strategy for capacity building.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, interesting. I trust you're trying to see the conclusion, right? I hope I don't interrupt you. You are concluding, sir, right? Hello, Mr. Okelo. Engineer, can you hear me?
I think he has lost network.
Okay. Meanwhile, just in case you had not sent in your questions, surely, considering the factor of time, I even wonder actually if we shall be able to catch with the engineer MTS in case any question was directed to him, because ideally, we basically no longer really are on time. So, Engineer Kelly is back, right?
Yes, sorry for that technical issues.
But I trust you were already conclude. You're already concluding, right?
Yes, I've concluded.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And for those who are raising hands, kindly, we had earlier agreed that just be sending in the questions in the comment section. I trust you will agree with me that we deserve to listen or to look at the few questions that were in the comment section. And definitely, as you have been reassured, for those who really want to interface with a real actual project, a case study design, you definitely cannot avoid to attend the bootcamp, the upcoming bootcamp, and you will have it all. You will even interface. You'll have a chance to interface with these experts physically. Thank you. I can see questions here. I don't know whether the engineer was able to see any questions during the sessions. Otherwise, what I know, we shall continue having a bootcamps of a kind, and no even in a wide perspective of engineering. This has been building design services. Perhaps
Hello.
next you might hear about geotechnical engineering using rock share. I don't know, but I'm sure.
Hello. Yes.
Perfect.
Is there any question?
Engineer, okay. Engineer, I don't actually. There is the one about standards, as I may remember from Mukagwa Wycliffe, who was actually asking about some of the international acceptable standards. But you already
I have
answered him.
responded. Yes, I have already answered.
I can see his answer.
There is a question I see about the prices of the boot camp. It's coming from Derek Adrico, and I would like to address it if it's okay.
Yes, it is. If I can answer this, it's basically 500 Ugandan shillings. And
Adrico's concern was that the price might be a little high for students, and I understand, especially for people who are still in school.
Okay.
You get that Kamanika is a lot. But the good thing is the organizers of this call, ZCAD Academy, they can, I think, organize something for universities whereby tutors can come to the university at a lower cost. And we see if we can train you from your university where you are. But with these boot camps, the price in accordance to the knowledge you're picking and the have to pay for the venue and the food and all those things, 500K is still. Because like I said, by the time the boot camp ends, you're going to be able to design these with minimal supervision. So 500K I understand, for working class is okay. For students, it might be a little high, but you can reach out to ZCAD Academy.
And they'll make special arrangements.
And I'm sure something can be worked out with the university. Yes.
Definitely. And that's the purpose for this. Really, it was partly the purpose for this webinar, so that you can get we can get to know what really tricks I mean, which triggers in your mind. So definitely, ZCAD has taken note of this, and they have to really look into it. They have to be at the venue, the classic venue, as it is for now. Otherwise, anyone who is able to really pay the 500, I can reassure you that you definitely, I don't have to assure you, you have seen it all, you have seen the experts, they have testified that they have confirmed with you that they will be available. So why not trust that surely you'll get the very best? And Mr. Kato, you can ask, this is a serious exam. Above Mr. Kato, this is also should one to do level of card. Okay. And anyone, Manka, was our experts? Could you answer this?
Let me answer. Mr. Is it the one who has written a lot of things?
No. Actually, okay. Maybe another expert can be thinking about this, but I think it's basically something simple, but will also be tackled. You can answer what you wanted to answer. In the meantime,
I can answer that.
Okay, engineer. I would prefer that
we are going to be able to take you through introduction. Yes. Pardon?
Sorry about this. I would prefer that we don't any theoretical question. We definitely can always send content to the fellas, or those anything to do with the practical. Maybe you can let them know how it will be tackled. But otherwise, any theoretical question, we surely can always send some content after the session. Like I'm seeing principles, someone needs principles and concepts involved in this. This is something surely you can easily, it's better, you are best understanding in case study design. Or if you need the theoretical, we shall send the content. So engineer, in case there is any other question you think you can answer, it's fine. What level of card should one have in order to do the boot camp? Doing it as like a specialist, like experts, qualifying to be an expert, or
no? What I was saying is, for someone who has never opened AutoCAD,
yes,
you can attend the boot camp.
Sure.
And by the time the boot camp ends, you're going to be able to design something. So it is truly. So just sign up. We only have a few days left. So please sign up so that you get this information. It's beginner.
And with the little experience I have with the AutoCAD, I can remember even developing my first drawing in the very first day I used Orion. It was Orion software, but then I was already producing diagrams from AutoCAD. Then imagine, so I expect that even when we are going the advanced designs, AutoCAD, you shouldn't think you really need to have used AutoCAD. And anyone who knows AutoCAD can testify that all the tools can be learned in a case study way. It's not more of like practice how to make a circle many times, practice how to make a line. No, actually, that's not the main point. Thank you. Any other question? Does attendance of bootcamp require prior knowledge about MEP? The expert definitely knows. Have enough knowledge about MEP. Maybe in case he had anything to read, but have a job, really having had time, or of course, even some people went through university, finished their classes, but they are not good. I mean, they are not at all remembering any concept about MEP. this is what we are meaning. That's why we are opting for a case study design, which is the approach other advanced countries even utilize. That's why you hear Japanese can design anything, even at his high school level. So definitely, this is what we are approaching. Trust me, in a case study design, you are handling a typical project, So you don't have to worry about how to catch up with the concepts are hardly understood when you don't do a case study or a real life project. Mechanical systems differ from civil engineering system, and what are they considered when designing them? So the considerations, of course, they are the specifications that I have told you you will delve in that day. Unless I don't think we are going to really. The facilitator, in case anyone that is ready to answer question number 2 of Kato Emmanuel, you could say something.
Hello. Actually, I transferred my call this to mobile as I was traveling because of this jam, but I couldn't see the question. Can you repost it, please?
Oh, okay, sir. I am reposting at the same time reading. So the question goes that how do mechanical systems differ from civil engineering systems? And what are the key considerations when designing them?
Okay, for this question, it is completely different. Because civil engineering, which teaches about the building construction, which deals in the concrete, the steel structure, how to stand up a building. But MEP services, which is going to be showing or teaching about the services inside the building, which required to operate the building, like the air conditioning, calculation of capacities, the plumbing system, the water requirement, drainage, to make the building operate, to make the building live. These MEP services are important. So both are completely different. But a civil engineer also can learn about these MEP services to understand, because at the end of the day, the building is one. So every department should know about the other.
Perfect. And I
And
trust
number 3, I'm seeing,
yes.
are there any specific code, standard, regulation that governs the design of mechanical system? How do they impact the design process? Yes, of course. There was a question from Mr. Wycliffe also, which I hope I answered. Yes, there are specific codes and standards need to follow, especially for HVAC. The worldwide, they follow ASHRAE, which is American Society of Heating, Refrigeration and Air Conditioning Engineers. That is I can say it's a father of air conditioning division. Then we have SMACNA standards. We follow NBC. Even while doing plumbing design, we follow NFPA. We follow then we follow BS, British standards. A lot of standards which we follow for each kind of designing. Then how do they impact the design processes? Of course, without standard, because the standard has been developed from a lot of research. So they have particularly mentioned what to follow for which kind of buildings and which kind of locations. So without the standard, you can say the design is not complete, it's not adequate. Then number 4, does attendance of the boot camp? Okay, I think it has been answered by Royce. So I hope this is it, right?
Yeah, sure. This is so elaborate, and actually, it's more of like, again, it went back to all the information you had really served us. I trust the fella shall really appreciate if he can have a share of the PPT, because literally you showed all the standards in their different categories, which standards we use for heat and cooling systems, which standards we use, they're all in your PPT. So definitely, if we can have this content, if we can have this file himself.
I think you have it. You can convert it to PDF and you can submit to the people who is sending the emails.
Perfect. That way. If there is anyone whom we have not tackled his question, his or her question, it's time you let us know. But I see Mohindo Ronald, no, he was just thanking, he's excited like I am. So I think we should feel free to really call it,
Yeah, one thing I also wanted to add on what Engineer Mtiaza has said is that now you see me, I'm an electrical engineer, but I do MEP. Like I said, these services are very integrated together. So for someone who was asking about background, even though you have background in electrical, you can actually attend this camp if you're really inquisitive on knowing how HVAC systems are designed and how they work. Even if you have a background in mechanical engineering, you can still attend this boot camp. So it is really for someone who is inquisitive and you just want to learn more and know how to design these systems.
Wow, interesting. Thank you, engineer. Yeah, all this adds up to very crucial, a crucial illustration to the audience, and I hope everyone is really a little bit satisfied on.
You can go this side, right? Yeah.
Yeah, for those who asked questions, and I trust many of you will continue, of course, having questions. As you know, of course, this was just a tip of an iceberg, of course. So definitely, if you want to know more, be sure to follow ZCAD Academy. It always have many programs. They always running many programs, and this building services being part of the upcoming programs, you will see a lot. If you follow them on LinkedIn, you are sure you will know a lot about what is transpiring. And once you're on LinkedIn and you comment and you ask for the WhatsApp, I trust they even have a group to make things more convenient for users. And even the website, of course, we are going to paste the website here. You should be able to see what is going on at the website. Meanwhile, if you're near Bukoto and you really can afford to walk in, the offices of ZCAD Academy is located in Bukoto. They will be able to get you through all the programs. You don't have to pay to look into what is exactly offered at ZCAD. You can always interact and know what exactly is upcoming. Thank you so much. And I can't wait to see all of you at the bootcamp. Yes.
Not getting time to work on IELTS.
Sorry, sir. It seems wow. Other people got you actually already clapping. Thank you, Engineer Mtiaz. Thank you, Engineer Mariam. Thank you, Brother Okello, Dennis. It's been a great session. And again, I hope we can keep in touch. I trust all our experts are on media. You can always appreciate their progresses. Yes, this was just a little bit of what they're doing. You will see what they have done all along and in the recent times. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for everyone for your time. I hope it has been stretched a bit, and we shall see you in bootcamp on 10th June. Bye-bye.
Bye. Yeah.
Royce, we are waiting for you to say meeting adjourned.
Actually, we finally call it an adjourned meeting. Oh my goodness! And you have said it. Actually, it is so. And definitely feel free to leave the session at any time. If you still want to be here, I'm still here. Of course, you can say hi. And talk beyond hi. If we will talk much, go on my media account also. Go to ZCAD, you'll even see Royce was tagged somewhere. If you don't want to go to ZCAD and you want to go through me to ZCAD, you can go and ask, where is Royce K. Bampale on LinkedIn? Definitely, you will get me easily. Yes, thank you. I can see Wanchusi, Lasto, Geni, Job, all amazing fellas around. And then I see an association alumni. This is interesting. All these people should come on ZCAD and we get to know, each other. Thank you. Feel free to leave